South Africa's labour unrest spread on Thursday as tens of thousands of construction workers prepare to down the tools next week, and unions in the gold sector signalled their intent to call a strike over wages as well. The National Union of Mine Workers said it would be consulting its gold industry members of a strike action in the next few days. The country's Chamber of Mines said it was still in talks with the Association of Mine Workers and Construction Union, AMCU, and the Solidarity Union, but NUM, which matters because it represents about 64% of the roughly 140,000 gold miners in South Africa. Workers from the Village Main Reef Company held protest on Wednesday against a planned closure of one of the company's shafts. Staying with the troubled gold sector, South African gold producer Gold Fields posted a quarterly loss on Thursday, hit by impairments in Ghana and lower commodity prices around the world. The company, however, said it would spend $300 million to snap up Barrick Gold's Australian assets. Gold Fields lost $129 million in the 3 months to June, compared with earnings of $27 million in the previous quarter. The company unbundled the bulk of its assets in South Africa early in the year, citing labour and political risks, but it signalled that it remained keen to expand its global presence. The Barrick acquisition will add 452,000 ounces of production to its annual output. Now, one of the world's largest producers of wine, South Africa, has been working to regain a foothold in the US market after losing out to imports from Australia and Argentina. Now, the country has recently been aggressively promoting its brands in Walmart and Whole Foods, and as CCTV's Nina Maria Ports reports from Washington, the efforts are now starting to bear fruit.
In a warehouse in Virginia, cases of wine from all over the world are stacked neatly in rows. Of more than 400,000 cases of wine sold here a year, only 14,000 are from South Africa. That number may be relatively small, but for wine importer Frank Casella, South Africa is a growth market.
They only export to America 1 million to 1.2 million in cases. So because of that small importation, it means that demand, there was potential for demand and room for growth. Many of the other areas, like Italy, already imports. We already import from Italy 21 million cases. So you've reached a saturation point.
Frank Casella's interest in South Africa's wines began in 2009 after realizing the number of wineries there had doubled in recent years. That expansion happened to coincide with America becoming the world's biggest consumer of wine in total volume.
So 73% is domestic consumption, domestically produced. 27% is from all the countries of the world. So there's a lot of competition.
Other heavyweights like Argentina and Australia have also been more effective than South Africa at promoting their brands on America's wine shelves, which is why Frank Casella saw the need to do South Africa's marketing himself.
We wanted to give on the case of wine, we wanted to give it identification. And basically, you want to have something that shows uniquely where it comes from.
But outside wine stores in the nation's capital, not everyone is sure they've tasted African wine.
I know I have tried South African wine at some point. I've definitely seen it listed in some restaurant someplace. So I know it's out there. I can't put my finger on a specific wine I've tried.
Perceptions may be about to change since South Africa's signed promotion deals with both Walmart and Whole Foods. But penetrating the American market requires a strong brand identity.
People don't really know or understand what brand South Africa is. They go, yeah, it's down there in southern Africa, but they don't really have a feeling for it. So they need the exposure.
South Africa produces some 87 million cases of wine a year from 200,000 acres of grapes. So it does have the potential to punch well above its weight. And its wineries are more than 300 years old. US wine importers say if South Africa can promote its old world credentials with new world technology, then it's on to a winning ticket. Nina Maria Ports, CCTV in Washington.
Indeed. Let's take a look at the markets right now, see what your equities have been doing across Africa. The All-Share Index in Nigeria starting the day out on a relatively negative note, down by about 0.6. The All-Share Index in South Africa, however, in the green, up by about 0.25. And the 20-share index in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, down 0.21 percentage points so far today. The EGX 30, however, more or less treading water, really, on the day when Hosni Mubarak is expected to be released, only up marginally by 0.04%. Right, here's what's coming up in sports.